Welcome back, everyone. Ready to dive into another fascinating topic. Today, it's all about artificial intelligence. We're going to be looking at this article, The Future of AI, how artificial intelligence will change the world, and really, trying to figure out what this future might actually look like.
Sounds like a plan.
So, one of the things that struck me while reading this is how much AI is already part of our lives. Maybe we don't always think about it,
Right.
but it's kind of everywhere.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing, actually. I mean, think about it. This article mentions that something like 42% of large companies already use AI in their operations. That's almost half of them.
Wow, that's a lot more than I would guess.
Right. It's a huge shift. And what we're seeing now is AI going beyond those big tech companies. I mean, it's becoming a tool for businesses in all sorts of industries. And a big part of this is what they call generative AI, things like ChatGPT. Those tools have really grabbed people's attention and shown just how powerful AI can be.
Yeah, it used to seem like AI was, I don't know, something out of a science fiction movie, but now it's becoming more and more normal. I guess the question is, how did we get here? What were the big moments that led to this AI revolution?
Well, the history of AI is really interesting. It's full of breakthroughs that have changed what we thought was possible.
Mm.
Like way back in 1951, they developed a computer program that could play checkers.
Checkers, huh? I bet that was pretty impressive back then.
Oh yeah, definitely a big deal at the time. But then you jump ahead to 1997 and you have Deep Blue. That was IBM's chess-playing computer, and it actually beat Garry Kasparov. He was a chess grandmaster.
I remember that. It was huge news.
It was. I mean, it showed everyone that AI could actually compete with, maybe even beat human intelligence, at least in certain areas. And then, of course, there was IBM's Watson, the one that won on Jeopardy!
Right,
In 2011.
right.
That was a big deal for showing how AI could understand language and answer those really tough questions.
So those were like the landmarks that put AI on the map. But what was driving these advances? What made all these breakthroughs happen?
Well, a lot of it comes down to the algorithms, those sets of rules that computers use, and specifically machine learning and deep learning. These technologies let AI systems learn from tons of data, spot patterns, and get better over time. And they do it without having to be programmed for every single situation.
Hmm.
That ability to learn and adapt is really what's behind this AI explosion we're seeing now.
Okay, so we have these really powerful new tools, and businesses are definitely jumping on board. But what does this mean for the real world? The article talks about how AI can completely change businesses, make them more efficient.
Yeah, and it's already happening. Think about it. Tasks that used to take hours can now be done in minutes because of AI. That kind of efficiency is changing things in so many ways. Like there are all these AI-powered chatbots now handling customer
Oh,
service,
yeah, I've seen that.
right? So now those human agents can focus on the more complicated stuff. And then there's the whole data analysis side of things.
Hmm.
Companies are using AI to look at mountains of data, pull out insights, and use those insights to make smart decisions. They can react to changes in the market, spot new opportunities, basically run their operations better than ever before.
So AI is streamlining things and giving companies a real advantage. But what about the people, the jobs? A lot of folks are worried about that.
It's definitely a valid concern. No question. AI is changing the job market. Certain jobs, the ones that involve doing the same thing over and over, or a lot of manual work, those are being automated. But it's not just about robots taking our jobs. It's more complicated than that.
I'm glad you said that. It's easy to focus on the fear of losing jobs, but there's got to be more to the story, right?
Absolutely. While some jobs are going away, new ones are popping up, especially in the fields connected to developing, implementing, and managing AI. Think about it. There's a growing need for people with skills in machine learning, data science, AI ethics, cybersecurity, all that. The job market isn't disappearing. It's morphing, transforming into something different.
So it's like an evolution, not an extinction.
Exactly. The key is to adapt, to learn new skills that are relevant to this changing world.
It sounds like lifelong learning is more important than ever in this age of AI.
No doubt about it. The people who are willing to learn new technologies, keep their skills up to date, those are the ones who are going to thrive in this new job market.
Well, it's pretty clear AI presents both amazing opportunities and some serious challenges. It's a powerful tool that can reshape our world. But, like any powerful tool, we need to be aware of the potential downsides, right?
Absolutely. We have to be aware of the risks and figure out how to minimize them. And at the same time, we need to figure out how to use AI's power for good to make sure it benefits all of humanity.
So let's dive into some of those risks. The article mentions several things like job losses, bias in AI systems, the rise of deepfakes, the whole data privacy issue.
Right, and those are all very real concerns, things we need to take seriously. One of the most pressing, as we were talking about earlier, is the potential for job losses. AI creates jobs, but it also automates existing ones. And that transition, it's not going to be easy for everyone. So we need to think about how to support workers who are displaced by AI, help them learn the new skills they'll need for different roles.
It's complicated, that's for sure. And it's not just about how many jobs, right? It's also about the types of jobs. I mean, are we going to end up with this huge gap between those high skill, high paying tech jobs and then a bunch of lower skill, lower paying jobs that are, I don't know, easier for AI to take over?
That's the big question. We need to make sure that the benefits of AI are shared, that everyone benefits, not just a select few. And this ties into something else the article brings up, the whole idea that AI can actually make existing biases worse.
Wait, you mean like AI can be discriminatory?
Yeah, exactly. So if you train an AI system on data that already has bias built in,
Hmm.
the AI can learn to make decisions that are, well, biased too. Like imagine an AI system for hiring, helping companies decide who to interview.
Uh-huh.
It could end up screening out qualified people just because of their demographics. Or think about loan approvals, using AI to decide who gets a loan. It might deny loans to people based on things that are connected to their race or ethnicity.
That's kind of scary. It sounds like AI could actually make inequality worse if we're not super careful.
It's a real danger. And it shows just how important it is to build AI systems that are fair and transparent and accountable, where you can see how they're making decisions. We need to think carefully about the data we use to train these systems, make sure it represents everyone and doesn't have that built-in bias. And we also need ways to check those AI systems, audit them to make sure they're not making discriminatory calls.
So it's not just the technology, right? It's how we use it, the values we build into it. It's got to be about making sure AI serves humanity, that it doesn't become a tool for making things less fair.
Right, it all comes back to us. AI is a powerful tool, and just like any powerful tool, it can be used in good ways or bad ways. It all depends on the intentions and actions of the people who are creating it and using it.
So let's switch gears a little bit. The article talks about all these different ways AI is being used across different industries, everything from healthcare and finance to manufacturing and transportation.
It's pretty wild how widespread it's becoming.
Yeah.
Let's start with healthcare. I think that's an area where AI has huge potential.
Okay.
One of the most exciting things is using AI for medical diagnosis.
Hmm.
Those AI algorithms can look at medical images,
Mhm.
things like x-rays and CT scans. They can spot things that a human eye might miss.
Wow.
And that can mean earlier diagnoses, more accurate diagnoses, which can sometimes be, life-saving.
That's incredible. It sounds like AI could totally change how we approach healthcare.
It really could.
Yeah.
And it's not just about diagnosis. AI is being used to develop new drugs, figure out personalized treatment plans based on someone's genes, even help surgeons during those really complex operations.
So AI is working with healthcare professionals, making them even better and helping people get better results.
That's the goal.
What about finance?
Oh yeah, finance is another big one. Financial institutions, they're using AI for all sorts of things, detecting fraud, assessing risks, making smarter investment decisions. Like AI systems can analyze massive amounts of financial data, find patterns that could point to fraud, and that helps banks and credit card companies prevent losses.
Yeah, in an industry like that where security is so important, I can see how that would be a game changer. And what about AI in manufacturing? I bet there are tons of applications there, right?
Absolutely. Manufacturing has been using automation for a long time, but AI is taking it to a whole new level.
Yeah.
You got robots and AI systems working right alongside humans on the factory floor.
Yeah.
They're doing jobs that are dangerous or repetitive or need really precise movements. And that means more efficiency, higher productivity, and it's safer for the workers too.
It's really interesting to see how AI is changing those traditional industries like manufacturing.
It is. And then you look at transportation. That's another area where AI is revolutionizing things.
Hmm.
The biggest example is self-driving cars.
Right.
AI is doing all the heavy lifting there, powering the navigation,
Yeah.
detecting obstacles, making decisions about what to do on the road.
I know they're working on self-driving cars like crazy, but they still feel a little futuristic to me.
They do, right.
Yeah.
But they're being tested and developed so quickly.
Yeah.
And even though there's still challenges to figure out, I think self-driving cars have the potential to change the way we get around.
Hmm.
They can make transportation safer, more efficient, more accessible for everyone.
So we're seeing AI having a major impact on all kinds of industries, and that impact's only going to get bigger in the years to come. It's exciting, to see this happening, but it's also a little bit, I don't know, daunting.
Yeah.
Like we need to be cautious and really think this through.
I agree. We can't ignore the potential risks of AI, and we need to work hard to minimize those risks. But at the same time, we have to figure out how to use its power in positive ways.
Yeah.
The decisions we make today, they're going to shape the future of AI, and they'll determine whether it becomes a force for good
Yeah.
or something that creates new problems.
It really feels like we're at this, I don't know, this crossroads with AI. Like, on one hand, we have this incredible power to solve problems, make life better. But on the other hand, there's this possibility of like unintended consequences, stuff we got to be ready for.
Yeah, it's a good reminder that technology isn't good or bad on its own. It's all about how we use it. AI is a tool,
Right.
and like any tool, it can be used to build things up or tear things down.
So, as we move into this world where AI is everywhere, what can our listeners do to prepare, maybe even help shape the future of AI in a good way?
One of the most important things is to never stop learning. Those skills that are in high demand right now, they might not be so important tomorrow. AI is changing things that fast.
Right.
So you got to be adaptable, be curious, be willing to keep learning new things throughout your life. That's essential in this world where everything's changing so quickly.
It's like we all need to become, I don't know, AI literate or something, not just knowing how to use the tools, but understanding what they can do, what they can't do, how they might affect things.
Exactly. The more we understand about AI, the better we'll be able to navigate all the changes it's bringing. We'll be able to make smarter decisions about how it's developed and how it's used. And don't be afraid to play around with those AI tools. Get some hands-on experience with them.
Right.
The more familiar you are with them, the better you'll grasp their potential and also their limitations.
Yeah, it's like anything new. The more you experience it, the less scary it seems. But it's not just about, being personally prepared. It sounds like we all have a role to play in making sure AI is developed ethically.
Absolutely. We need to talk about AI ethics. Don't be afraid to speak up, ask tough questions, push for responsible AI development. It's not just up to policymakers and researchers and tech companies. Everyone needs to be involved in shaping this.
So it's not just about watching this happen, but actually helping to steer it in the right direction.
Exactly. The future of AI isn't set in stone. It's being shaped right now by the decisions we make, the actions we take.
Well, we've covered a lot in this deep dive into AI. We've seen how it has the potential to change industries, make our lives better, solve some of the world's toughest problems.
We've also talked about the risks, job displacement, bias built into algorithms, the ethical questions surrounding autonomous systems.
The big takeaway here is that AI isn't just a technology thing. It's a societal transformation, and it requires us to be engaged, to think critically about it. We need to approach AI with both, excitement and caution, embrace its power to do good, but also be prepared to guard against the potential downsides.
And as we keep exploring this new territory, remember, the future of AI isn't something that's just happening to us. We're all creating it together.
That's a great point to end on. Thanks to everyone for joining us on this deep dive into the world of artificial intelligence. We hope you found it interesting, and we encourage you to keep learning about AI, keep thinking about these important questions. It's a conversation that we all need to be a part of.